Hello Wildcats! Today we're going to learn how to place an order for a call option in the Etrade website. What you're going to want to do is open your account, click on trading. It's going to bring you to the stock and ETF order page, but we don't want a stock or an ETF order, we want an options order. So we're going to click on options. Now I've updated this video for 2019, but there's a link to my old video below, and all that is using this classic trade ticket up here. So you can still apply that old video's info with this layout. It's the same stuff, same application basically, but a different layout. So we go back to the normal one that you're going to see for 2019. And you have many little boxes here. So obviously buying a call option is a little more complex than buying a stock. Stock you just put in the ticker and whatever price you want. But options has specifically two more important things you need to select. Mainly expiration and strike, but this is also important and we'll get to this. We'll get to them step by step. So first thing you want to do is put in the ticker that you want to trade. Here we're going to pretend like we're trading the SPY. And it's going to automatically put you in a custom strategy. And you can do this manually if you want. You could just follow the custom strategy and add an options leg. But if you know that all you want is a call option, you can click this and select from the list, go to call option. Alternatively, go back to custom, add an options leg. It'll give you another bar right here. And you can add up to 4. You can delete them. But either way, whichever one you use, you're going to end up with one of these bars with these 5 boxes. Now your action is going to be buy to open. When you're done with your trade, you're going to want to sell to close. If you're only buying calls and you're not selling calls, these are the only 2 things you're going to select. Buy open when you start the trade, sell close when you're done with it. You can ignore sell open, you can ignore buy close. So we're going to buy open, and then whatever quantity you want. Generally one call option is the equivalent of 100 shares of stock. You can think of it like that. We're going to try 2 here, because down here you're going to see a little bit of difference if you select 1 or 2. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. If you select 1, this all or none option is unselectable. We don't care about that if we're just buying 1, but I'll show you the difference if you're buying more than 1. So we're going to buy 2 SPY call options. And we need to choose the expiration date. So we'll just go with, whatever, the weeklies. Is that right? Yeah. So that's actually a monthly as well. So we're going to go with the expiration date of June 14, 2019. And whatever strike price you want. Right now, the SPY is at 284. So 285 is going to be the at the money option. And above it will be out of the money. Below it will be in the money. So we're just going to go with the at the money option. Type call. And right here you have the bid and the ask. The size is the amount. That's the liquidity. The SPY usually has very high liquidity, so we don't really care about the size. But we do care about the bid and ask. So this is what the bidders are offering, 2.28. Now remember, because 1 contract equals 100 shares, you're not going to be paying $2.28 for the whole contract. Instead, you're paying $228. You need to multiply by 100. But this is essentially what you're paying per share. So this is what is being offered, and this is what is being asked. You can see that the spread, the difference between the bid and the ask, is only 2 cents. And that's a really tight spread. So generally, we're just going to get in at the market price here. But if you see a ticker with a spread that's not so tight, let's do RH. We're going to buy a August, go with 105 call. You see here that there's not many people wanting to sell it. There's only 1 for the size. And the bidders, there are many. But because of this discrepancy, you have a very large spread between the price being offered for this option and the price that is being asked for the option. So that's a problem, because if you select market, what's going to happen is you're going to get the worst possible price. You want the best possible price, so you're going to select limit. These are really the only two you're going to care about. So you're going to go with limit, and this is a skill in its own, but you're going to want to find the best price you can get for this, and it's usually somewhere in the middle. One way to do it is just take the midpoint, so add these two numbers and divide by 2. We're going to say maybe 4.45 is a good price for this. And you can select good for the day, good for 20 days, 60 days. Fill or kill means automatically, if it is not filled, if the order doesn't go through automatically, it will be canceled automatically. But generally you just go for good for the day or immediate or cancel. I always just select good for the day, and then I watch to see if it's going to fill. If it doesn't fill, I'll cancel it. Now the difference here when you use quantity of 2 is that you have this all or none choice being meaningful. When your quantity is only 1, it doesn't mean anything. So if you select that box, what happens is, let's say you have quantity of 2 and you have a wide spread like in RH. Now you set this limit price for $4.45. Someone thinks that's a good enough price and they sell it to you for $4.45, but only one person does that. So what happens to the second order, the remaining one contract that you wish to buy? It just hangs out there, and maybe you'll get it again, maybe you won't. But if you select all or none, that means you don't accept a single order. So if one seller is saying he'll sell it to you, but no one else is going to sell it to you, and you want 2, well, all or none says you reject that order. Not clicking all or none says you buy one of them, and you wait until another person is willing to sell you at this price. So let's just do a very simple one. We'll go with SPY, buy to open, quantity 1, weekly, at the money, and of course is a call. So we see tight spread, we don't care, so we're going to get in at the market because we don't care about saving a penny or 2. If we get in at the market, the price we're going to be paying is the higher of the 2. So we're going to be paying $230 for this plus commissions. Good for the day. You can preview your costs. It shows you the estimated commission you're going to be paying. This is going to be different. Mine's probably going to be different from yours. And it's going to give you the estimated total cost. You can click preview, it'll take you to the next page. I'm doing this when the market is closed, so it's not going to allow me to preview. But that's essentially what you're going to do. You're going to bring it to the next page, and you can save that, and you can put the order through. It's as simple as that. What else? So, like I said, this is a little more difficult than buying a stock because you have these 2 extra choices you must make: expiration date and strike. And those are really important because they're going to affect how the option changes as the underlying, which would be this ETF, changes. Now, one way to look at what's going to change is to just go to the most active options in Google and type NASDAQ, because that's the site we want. And enter your symbol. So we want SPY. And usually you're not going to be able to see the most active options right before the market opens. Right now I'm making this video before the market is open, so none of these are up, but we can still use this because we can go to the option chain here, and it'll give us pretty good information about the options. Alternatively, if you have the Etrade Pro program, you can set up whatever you want to look at for each option. So go to the SPY, look at that at the money weekly, which is right here. Select the June expiration date. Here's the at the money call. Calls are on the left side. I have this set up differently than you will, but these are the important things. So delta tells you how much the call option's value is going to change for every $1 change in the underline. So say that the SPY goes up $1, you're going to make a $50 profit. Theta is telling you essentially how much money you're losing per day by holding on to that option. And as you go out in expiration date, you're going to find that theta decreases in magnitude. So here we're only losing $8 a day, whereas in this one, we're essentially paying $15 a day for the right to have this option, for the right to exercise this option. Again, bid and ask here, this is essentially the spread. You want smaller spreads because it's easier to get those orders filled. You can ignore Vega, but over here on total volume and open interest, it's going to show you how popular these options are. And as I showed you before with RH, liquidity is not high. There's not much demand for these options, but you can still get it filled generally. If you see there's usually like a double-digit volume or a triple-digit open interest, you can usually get these filled. So don't worry too much about liquidity. As long as you're playing something that's traded with a high volume, like something like a million shares per day, there shouldn't be any problem. Now, we've got to choose two things. We just looked at going out in expiration reduces the amount of money that we're losing per day on the option. And going up and down in strike price changes how much we're gaining per $1 movement. So this one's going to be gaining $70 per $1 movement. Likewise, these cheaper ones, out of the money, are going to be gaining less. So this one, $30 per $1 movement. Now it's up to you what you're going to buy, but you can see this is essentially all you're doing to select your call option. You're just doing the same thing you did for a stock. You're telling Etrade that you want a call. Always buy to open. Always check the bid and ask. But the most important thing is going to be your expiration date and your strike price. And that's going to be a personal choice. That's it. Remember, price tight market if the spread is tight, and limit, go with something in the middle if the spread is not tight. And one more trick for getting a good limit price, getting good value for these less liquid calls. So this is a little less liquid, as you can see. The spread is 60 cents. So if you go with market, you're probably going to be getting a price about $30 above the one that you can get if you were going with limit. And the trick here is you start a little above the bid, or a little below the ask for buying calls, sorry. A little below the ask, and you can go down in 5 or 10 cent increments. So here's something that I do to get a good price. I'll put in, for example, 6.7. And I'll send that order in. And after 5 minutes or so, if that order does not fill, I'll come back to the screen after canceling that order, and I'll go down another 10 cents. And I'll just keep doing that until I get to like the midpoint, and I'll set it at the midpoint and wait. Because usually you can get it a little better price than the midpoint if you do this trick. It just takes 5 or 10 minutes. And that's it. If you want the classic version, you can check the older video out. I'll put a link in the description below. And I have several videos on opening options in this format. So right now I only have the how to buy a call option in the newest format. If that's a little confusing, if you want to know more, then look at my older videos and you can come back to this screen. All you have to do is click this. That's it.